Sometimes we get a dry December. Yeah, sometimes we've had that.
We might not want to be recorded right now.
Just start a new meeting at the beginning of the
Where'd you come from?
I'm filling in.
I have documents being introduced to council.
One of
I have
those.
7 copies.
Octopus.
So can I give them to
Yes,
you?
I get it.
Distribute them, please. There are more copies on the table. If any.
Recently, I've been a practicing.
Thank you.
Oh, well, there's animals here. It's a circus.
So that.
Still counts.
We're going along to I was trying to like.
Oh, just what I need.
Oh, for me. For me.
Thank you. Oh, are they both? Oh, I got 2 copies.
Oh, they must have done an extra. Janice might need one. I'm not sure. Not.
Oh. I need a bigger desk.
Rain? I'm hoping. Really? I checked mine. No, I have one in my backyard. And I wanted to check it out.
And it will actually. Right, and they crack it.
Right there. But I. Oh, I say where? But it doesn't.
Okay. All of our people are.
I've heard stories about that. I hope not, if other people are around. Oh, I especially heard it. Not everything happened and then she was like, and then I looked at it.
Livingstone, how are you doing? No, I think after my racing from the car to get here, I'm like trying to catch my breath. That's right. I'm trying to relax so I can actually talk, so I'm not. He'll be like, what's up with Darth Vader up there? Good to see you.
I just want to get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was okay now.
That's not how it works. That's the settlement.
So now put Josh.
You've got different roles, my friend. You signed up for the wrong job.
They'll sign, we have the treasurer, she signs the checks.
Those are the checks. Agreements, you sign agreements.
Oh, did you want to mention that there was only one bid received for the maintenance of the castle roads?
Sorry.
You want to mention that
You can include that in your comments. Include an update on the reconciliation.
what reconsideration? Oh, yeah, I gotta call Justin about it. man.
No, the receipt did it more. First version of it.
Justin. moved out.
No, that is apparently if you own a house. You need to clean the gutters every once in a while. When it was raining, I thought, man, it's really coming down. Seems to be raining heavier at my house. I went out and apparently Castle Oaks, the downspouts are just the perfect size for a golf ball to drop down in. So I was up there trying to figure out what's going on. I was like, is that my Titleist? When I went over to the next one, I was like, is that my Pinnacle? There's just every single one of them has a golf ball sitting in there. I was just like, shit. So then I couldn't dig them out, tried to, then I started scraping my hand on the roof tile, but and I was just like, I kind of look, it looks like I'm a fighter. No. Yeah, this time the roof did.
So when did they have that? Last week and I missed.
I'm telling you. I don't want you to. One thing I am is persistent.
I've learned that much, Mr. Yes.
I might not be smart. I may not be right. I'm wise, but I'm persistent. No, I'm not. That's my biggest weakness. I get in a fight about my wife. Excellent. I get fight with my wife all the time. Get my time.
I ran off and I left my flyer, so I had to turn around and run back.
It's not expired. This is an expo.
Yes.
Best used one. This is too late. It's not. You're throwing away my. This is.
New record. I'll have to break the window. I like to know exactly how long I can go, somewhere between 45 and 55.
That is. That's you box. Oh, it's a quiet. Sit there. It's quiet. Go. You know, she'll like, have to go somewhere. Yeah, she'll go.
Yeah.
You go for this?
Yeah, anything that was even a little bit.
It's bad.
Bad?
We're back in session. Will you please all join me for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States. To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Legal Could you please report out of
Yes.
closed session?
For one of the items, direction given to staff. For another one of the items, the council by 5-0 vote authorized the execution of a settlement agreement for repayment of a prior community development block grant loan from 2007. That agreement will be on file upon request once we have an executed version, but once all signatures, that'll be a file available upon request.
Thank you. Any public comment? No public comment? Okay, moving on. Can I get a approval of the agenda, please?
Move to approve the agenda.
Second. We have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. We have no presentations. Public comment. Any public comment items not on the agenda?
You skipped the consent calendar.
No, it's done.
No?
We're up on.
We're on G.
Oh,
H.
that part. Sorry. It's been a while since I've been here.
Any public comment?
Yes, good evening, everyone. Marcia Edick. I have provided council and staff with tables and charts that I had created relating to financial expenses. This was prompted because the mayor represented at the last meeting that the city's legal fees this year were approaching 500,000. And I remember hearing a lot of gasps from the audience, and I'm sure I was among those. It's a lot of money. So that prompted me to look into this. So the mayor's representation at the last meeting is mostly true, as the year-to-date data had shown that 422,195.15 had been spent in legal expenses through the end of October, which is just a mere 4 months. But then I went back and I looked at the November 4th, and that brought it up to, because there was an additional warrant for White Brenner, which was not included in that figure, and it was $32,221.70, which brings the total year-to-date legal expenses up to $454,416.85. It's a lot of money. Now, I realize you all know this, but maybe the public doesn't know this, but every city operates on a fiscal year basis. So basically, January 1 through June 30th relates to last fiscal year. So that would be 2024, 2025. And then the new fiscal year starts on July 1st of each year. So in 2024, we had 2 law firms handling various matters for the city. That was under Mayor LaFane. And that was Somac, Simmons, and Dunn, I'm hoping I pronounced that correctly, who handled water and tertiary matters and ARSA litigation, and New Miller Beardsley, which was the former city attorney's office. And unbelievably, in the last, because I did this for comparison purposes, so from July 1, 2024 through the end of 2024, the legal expenses were a mere, for 6 months, the legal expenses were a mere $82,972.03. And in the first 6 months of this year, we now have a new mayor, by the way. For people who don't know, the mayor is for the entire calendar year. We have Mayor Rhodes. And in the first 6 months of this year, we have spent $243,000, $243,8905. In the last 4 months of, or I'm sorry, in the first 4 months of this fiscal year, $179,106.10. So I did a further breakdown. I wanted to
You
find
have
out
30 seconds.
where are all of these legal fees going? So basically, the legal firm for the censure billed $28,037. White Brenner, which is our current city attorney, $295,901.05. So I'm hoping that the documents that I've created for council might shed some light on where the attorney's fees have been spent. Because it
Your
doesn't
time's
seem
up.
to me that it relates to,
Your time's up.
Good evening, City Council and neighbors and city staff. My name is Patricia Angija. As you'll recall, I'm the treasurer of Amador's Heart of Gold, a newly formed nonprofit organization, and our purpose is to provide financial, emotional, and educational support to families affected by childhood cancer residing in Amador County. In only the past 2 years, there have been 6 cases of childhood cancer diagnosed in Amador County. The limited resources available in our county led to the forming of this organization by 2 of the moms of children with cancer, whose goal it is to have Amador's Heart of Gold be the organization families affected by childhood cancer can turn to. Thus far, our communities have come together in amazing ways to support the families that have been impacted by childhood cancer, and I know that Amador County will continue to show up for our new families facing this impossible situation. I would like to invite you to follow us on Facebook and Instagram to stay up to date on our future outreach events. You can also email us at amadorsheartofgold@gmail.com. An upcoming event that we have is a blood drive in honor of Jesse Lee and Brooks Costello, 2 of the young children fighting cancer in Ione specifically. It will be on Monday, December 8th from noon to 5:30 p.m. at Evelyn Bishop Hall. And please visit our Facebook or Instagram page to look for the link to sign up for an appointment if you would like to be a donor. Also, I urge the Ione City Council to put pressure on Amador County Public Health, Amador Water Agency, Mule Creek State Prison, U.S. Mine, Amador Quarry, the wastewater treatment facility agencies, the Regional Water Quality Control Board, and any other city, county, regional, or state environmental agencies to have environmental testing be done, as having 6 cases diagnosed in the last 2 years. 5 of these cases are in Ione specifically. Seems to be more than just a coincidence. Per the National Cancer Institute, the national average for childhood cancer rates is 0.0048%. Amador's County's 6 cases out of the population of 41,029 per the 2020 U.S. Census gives us a rate of 0.015%, which is 3 times the national average. And even more concerning is that 5 of those cases being located in Ione, and with a population of 5,306 per the 2020 U.S. Census, not counting the prison population, that gives us a rate of 0.094%, almost 20 times the national average. I believe there has to be something with our environment, be it the compelling argument of contaminated prison water we've seen an article for back in May, water treatment facilities, mining industries, or other impacts that are causing these much higher rates of childhood cancer in our communities. I urge you to please hold the applicable agency or agencies accountable and make sure that they remedy these situations that might be causing these children and their families to experience the tragedy that is childhood cancer. We have already lost one of our warriors, Mighty Mateo, at just the age of 21 months old. I hope we can all work together to make it so that remaining fighters are able to recover and no further cases are diagnosed. I implore you to
You have 30 seconds.
prioritize investigating and, most importantly, remediating any contributing factors to the seemingly epidemic of childhood cancer cases in Amador County. And I want to let the families who are going through the battle know that Amador's Heart of Gold is here for you. So please reach out and we will work our hardest to assist you with anything you may need. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Patricia.
Hello, at last meeting, I want to kind of thank Dominic for trying to donate $5,000 to the food bank. Maybe if he needs to go through the right process, I know it was in a hurry and he was just trying to do some good, but if he went through the right process, we could probably do it. So that was on the 4th, so that I woke up in the morning, I said, I'm gonna go up to the food bank. I went up and donated $100. And the reason I went up is because, you know, I figured, well, I'll donate money. And I used to donate at a store. I used to donate $10 every time I bought something. And I asked the lady, I said, why don't they do that anymore? And she told me why, and I'm not gonna tell anybody because I don't know if they want it out or not, but it's a dirty deal. And she said we spent so much money on attorneys and everything. I know we're kind of short on, you know, $5,000. So we spent a lot of money to save Castle Oaks. I mean, thousands. Probably, am I right, over $200,000 in attorney fee?
That sounds high.
Huh?
That sounds high.
Okay, about 150. That's a lot of money out of I live over here out of my taxes. So they're having a turkey drive this Saturday. You can donate at the store or out at the park. And I'm challenging everybody from Castle Oaks because we saved them all this money, the value of their house. And I'm not being mean, but that's the way I feel. And I'm challenging everybody in Ione to donate a turkey anyway, Saturday. Because you can go to the store, I priced them a little bit ago, and a butterball, it was almost $16, and you can go around different stores and they're all on sale this week. So, I've already got 2 boxes, 2 meals. I just got to go pick up the ham or turkey Friday or Saturday. So everybody, the papers are over there, they can go pick them up, take them, give them to your neighbors, and I'm challenging everybody in Ione, especially Castle Oaks, to donate just a turkey or a can of beans or a can of soup Saturday. It would be a great help to people. We have a lot of people in Ione that can't really afford to eat right because of rent and everything so high. So, and thank you, Dominic, for what you said.
And thank you, Andy, for donating.
Yeah, but I thought I'd bring it up. I thought that was pretty nice. It's just you have to go through so many channels, and so keep the work up on donating.
Thank you, Andy.
I think it was the first week in September, you all had a meeting in executive session. There was a decision made, some information was presented. It was presented to me that this information was presented on a certain set of studies, which I have reviewed, and I can't find one word of support for the premise that was made that the prison water is appropriate for irrigation. And nothing that Ione did as far as well tests. However, if you go over to your website and you look at I believe you call it the Title 22 on page 212 and page 2-13, there's a list of 10 VOCs that come out of the prison and that are treated. And I will give them credit. They show some progress in treating them, but it's not eliminating them. Okay, and that's just the VOCs. If you go to the next page, I think there's 10 additional semi-VOCs. And these are all coming out of the prison and out of the wastewater. Now, again, they're only documenting the VOC problem. The 2 things that you see in hand script on the bottom are the goodies that were found in my well in 2018. Those are both plasticizers that are used in the manufacture of fireproof clothing, which the PIA manufactures up there. So I hear a lot of people saying, oh, there's no problem with that prison water. There is nothing but problems, and all we have to do is look at our own paperwork. Can I answer any question or respond to any comments? Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Jim.
Dave Johnson, I just wanted to say thanks to Thomas. I went by the amphitheater today. That thing is looking first class. It gave me some ideas that I wanted to sort of mention to you guys for possible revenue. I was looking at, this is what they do if you're kayaking and stuff. They have a poppy pass you buy for the state that allows you into state parks. I thought maybe we could look at doing something like that for Ione, where maybe the citizens could pay like $20 a year or something for parking at Howard Park once we get it open. And then maybe individual use would be like $5. So people coming from out of the area, we could generate some revenue. These can just hang on your mirror, so then somebody would know, hey, I'm an Ione resident, I get it for $20. And then we could maybe revenue share with Little League, girls softball, maybe they get $5, the city keeps 15, but at least it would be something to bring some money in, because we keep talking about how much money the city's spending. So I thought this might be nice, because with the state parks, I just hang it on my mirror, they see it when I go through, and they just wave me on through. So it doesn't hold anybody up. But like the frog jump this last year, they had the Boy Scouts out there when I was there on my motorcycle, and the Boy Scouts were collecting the money, and I think they got 5 out of the 20. So I just thought that might be an idea for you guys to think about as this amphitheater comes in. We'll have a lot more uses out there, and with homecoming and stuff. The other thing I want to mention to you guys was signage. I've lived here now, this is my 3rd year. The first 2 years, I didn't even know that we had like a skateboard park, disc golf, that kind of stuff, because it's sort of off to the left when you go into the park. I was thinking if we did signage just past Castle Oaks, where you come up on Twin Cities, where you could say what the park has, like what Rancho Cordova and Elk Grove do. They show you what's in the park, and then they sort of drive you there. Because every time I came through, we literally went through Main Street and went towards Jackson. We never took that first turn to even know what was there. And more people might take advantage of that if we actually put signage up. The other thing I would recommend is maybe putting up signage at Howard Park that says like the next 30, 60 days what events there are. I just found out they had a dog cutting thing on Saturday and Sunday. I would have gone to that if I had known about it. I had no idea it was even there. They had cattle there, and it was like a 2-day competition that it just seemed like if you're driving by and you could see what's coming up, you could plan it on your event and try to attend that and support the city. Next one I have warrants. I have an issue, not necessarily, but on the police station, back to Marcia's point. It looks like our city attorney is billing us $11,000 for processing that police station paperwork. I don't know how we're paying 11 grand for that. It seemed like you could have an attorney look over the paperwork. You already have somebody doing a title search. You have real estate agents. It seems like it's abusive to me. So when you guys approve these warrants, it always makes me nervous because it seems like we're getting billed extremely high. The other thing I saw was the appraisal is still not public. I can't find the appraisal anywhere to see how that thing came in at 880 with as many businesses are closed on Main Street. I don't see how that came in that high. I've been over in Jackson and they're selling buildings a lot less than what we paid for it. So I'd just like to be able to, if we can share that with the public, then we can know what the comps were. I don't see the value. It's already a done deal, so it really doesn't matter.
You have 30 seconds.
With the 30 seconds, I'd like to recommend that maybe you guys could approve this, that we get these Zoom videos uploaded within like 72 hours of a meeting. One meeting we had, Jack was talking about on a Tuesday that there was a Halloween thing on Sunday. That meeting didn't go up until the day before the next meeting. Last meeting's still not up today. The last meeting, Dominic recommended the city giving $5,000, and Jack talked about donating some money. People that aren't here don't know about it. It's not getting out. So if you guys could do like 72 hours.
Your time's up.
That's my recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor, can I make a few remarks?
Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. Johnson, just a couple of things. If we will respond to your PRA with the appraisal, but I believe it came back at 910. So we'll get that to you. On the legal fees for that property, I'm not sure if you remember Mr. Lee making an announcement that the price for the city with all the loans factored in wound up about 900,000 lower than what was originally approved. So there were some negotiations that happened during title review after the fact, and that's why those billings were a little higher for that matter. So the city saved some money, and there was some work that was done.
A lot of money.
I'm Larry Rhodes. I'd like to bring up, I come to a committee meeting here. The warden of the prison was here, and I got to ask him some questions. And the one question I did ask him that I thought was real important, they lost a lawsuit about 3 years ago for $10,000, and I believe they got 6 million, 10 million, and they got 6 million of it to do something. And I asked him personally, what have they done to their wastewater treatment plant? And he goes and says it's in litigation. Of course, I didn't get the litigation number of it, but I thought, this tells me they ain't doing a damn thing. Excuse my language, but that's the way I feel about it. They get $6 million, been 3 years, and they can't even say they got an engineer looking at it. He did say they were working on something on the irrigation system. Well, it's probably drilling holes in the ground so they can put the water in the aquifer. That's probably what they're doing. Thank you.
Any other public comment? You've already came up once.
Can I just say something about an event coming up that Andy was talking about?
Sure.
Turkey Drive. Nothing political, I promise. So on Saturday, like Andy had mentioned, the Turkey Drive food drive is at the Ione Elementary's Fall Festival at Evelyn Bishop Hall from 11 to 2. And Amador's Heart of Gold will also be there. And it's also to raise money for the parent faculty club at Ione Elementary. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, any other public comment?
Hello, everybody. I just wanted to come by tonight and say, hey, it's been a while. And just let you all know that I love serving this community. I love what I'm doing here. And thank you for allowing me opportunities I've had.
Thank you. Any other, we got anyone on Zoom? All right, we will close public comment. Okay, moving on to the consent calendar. Can I get approval of the consent calendar, please?
I'd like to pull 1 and 2, please, for discussion.
Yeah, the August 19th minutes. I have a question.
I want to make a comment on 2 also.
Okay, so pulling items 1, the minutes, and what number?
2.
1 and the warrants. Okay, well, we'll start with
We move to approve 3 and 4.
I'm
Yeah.
I move to approve 3 and 4.
I second.
we have first, second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Post, guys have it.
no.
Okay, let's start with the approval of the minutes.
Do it.
Me? Okay, so in the minutes, it makes a reference where it says, out of closed session, that Allison LaFane will be making a comment during council comments. And then when you go to council comments, there is no, Councilman LaFane's comments on the report out of closed session will be taken in city council comments at the end of the meeting. When you go to those city council comments at the end of the meeting, the only comments are, wait for it, from Mayor Rhodes, next agenda, add item regarding the city's responsible for sewer laterals. So there was no comment from Councilperson LaFane. Was there a comment made by her, or did it just not get put on the minutes? That's my question on that.
I'm sure I had a comment.
Was that?
I have a question about August 19th, to go to Dave's point. It says approval of purchase agreement for city to acquire the property at 217 West Street. The motion was made that it was contingent upon the appraisal. And when the appraisal came in, you got my email. I don't know how you can use comps that are in Grass Valley and Placerville. So why did this not come back contingent upon the appraisal? That was the motion that was made for the purchase of the property.
The response would be the appraisal came in above what the purchase price was.
Yeah, but you use comps in Grass Valley and Placerville.
Whatever I don't know the
Maybe it would have
appraiser's
been able-
methodology, but that was in the agreement of if the
Who
appraisal
made
comes
the
back.
decision that the appraisal was appropriate? That should have been council, contingent upon the appraisal.
Well, we might disagree on the council and staff decision on that one.
You and I disagree on what's right and wrong. Yeah, I was waiting for it to come back, and I do remember asking you specifically, would we get a chance to address it? And you said yes. That's my comment on the minutes.
All right, any other questions from council? Open up the public comment.
Yes, no, mine has nothing to do with the minutes, but it does have to do with the warrants. And I'm still stuck on
Still on the minutes.
Excuse me?
We're still on item 1, approving the minutes.
Oh, okay.
I got to open up for
Approve them
public
first.
Public comment on minutes. Close public comment. Okay, can I get a motion to approve the minutes?
Somebody was trying to get up, but you closed it so fast.
Oh,
Hang on, we were
Yeah,
waiting for
public
more
comment.
information on the minutes, right?
So to Allison's point, should have been in Amador County. The appraisal. If you're going all the way, that's like buying a house in Sacramento, getting a quote out of San Francisco. I mean, that's ridiculous. Grass Valley and Placerville, come on, guys. Should have been Amador County. Jackson, Pine Grove, Pioneer, something. Grass Valley, Placerville, come on, those are going communities. Placerville's got people going to Tahoe every day of the week. They've got major grocery stores, major stuff there.
High end.
That, I would say that appraisal is no good.
All right, Mr. Johnson, are you happy with the final outcome on this? Okay, so I think we should just be pleased at this point with the outcome because this looked done. Okay,
The appraisal is not.
that's my comment, that's all I'm saying.
My comments are that you cannot tell an appraiser where to get their values.
You absolutely
Okay?
can.
No, you can't. They're supposed to be independent.
Then you don't.
Okay, I've been in the real estate business a long time,
You can't, yeah. and I
right?
helped
So
put some
again,
in
yeah,
jail.
no, not me. So again, maybe you, but not me. All right, so again, you can't tell an appraisal what to do.
Doesn't matter. It said it was
So,
going to come
again,
back to council.
The appraisal was done, it was done by a certified appraiser. So at the end of the day,
Anybody can get certified.
go ahead.
Larry Caputo, Shakely Lane. I also have a real estate broker's license. If you cannot find like property in your neighborhood, then you go to the closest place where you can find like property to get your appraisals.
Stockton.
You can't take an appraisal in the local city when there's no like property. It's not even an appraisal. It'd be stupider than going out of town. So you find the closest like property to get your appraisal.
Grass Valley is how.
Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Larry.
I agree with Larry. I was a mortgage underwriter for 10 years. Yes, you cannot, I mean, appraisers have their own methodology into what properties they do choose. You can guide and ask them for more reasonable comps. You can also get a second appraisal if you want to. That's just my 2 cents. Thank you.
Another public comment? Got anyone on Zoom? All right, close public comment. Someone want to make a motion to approve the minutes?
Point of order, Mr. Verinsky. I think we were going to get Janice was going to research the minutes. So should we just wait and
Well,
table the minutes?
It's whatever the motion is of which minutes are being adopted and which ones are being brought back. If you could just clarify what the motion
Someone
is.
would like to make a motion.
I would suggest we bring back the August 19th minutes after I review them, and then you can approve the August 3rd.
Okay, well,
sounds good.
Table them for the next meeting. Okay.
Sorry.
We don't need a vote on that, right?
Yes, you do.
Okay. Don't want to make a motion?
So I'd move to approve the August 5th minutes, with the August 19th minutes coming back to us next meeting.
We have first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Okay, the next one was warrants.
I had a quick question. So Eco Urban's back on air, but there's only one fee. Last month, or was it last month? Yeah, there was 2 because they hadn't been paid. And I believe the direction was to not pay them for the last 2. So what there shouldn't there be 3 on here? The 2 that weren't paid plus the 3rd month? Or did the last 2 months get paid and then this is the only one that is outstanding, and because I don't want to pay Eco Urban, so.
My recollection, Dominic, is that I made a motion to not pay them and it was,
Yeah.
it
that's
was
what I thought.
overruled. You voted no on it, actually. You might have been confused about it, but I remember you voted no. And I was shocked by it because I think it was a mistake on your part because I know how you feel about it, but
I know, I voted no on the entire warrants, all of them.
Yeah, we voted on the entire warrant.
I absolutely agree with you on the Eco Urban thing.
Okay.
So I wasn't voting no on Eco Urban, I was voting no on paying anything on the warrants.
Okay.
So, and I thought you had pulled Eco Urban. that's what I remember too.
Yes, yes. Me personally, I'm picking Eco Urban specifically is the only warrant I did not want to pay. That's what I was trying to do. So I have some confusion on my part, I obviously too. So
You're right. So did they get paid or not?
it looks as though as they did according to the warrants, because I looked at them this morning too.
Okay.
I thought there should be more on there. So my question, statement then would be, I would like to do the same thing again. Me personally, I would like to pay the warrants exclusive, but exclude Eco Urban. They have not been doing anything out there. I feel bad from the standpoint that he has a guy out there that does work and tries to work hard. And I know him personally and I like him very much, but I don't believe they should get paid.
I agree with you.
Any other council comments?
Is your bill in here?
No, sure.
You're
No,
not
it's
sure?
not.
I
There is
don't think
no
I
bill.
saw it.
I don't think you've gotten the October one yet.
Okay, I'll wait till October then.
Any other council comments?
That's what I mean.
It'll
All right,
it'll
open
it'll be lower.
Open up to public comment.
Good evening again. I don't have the exact figure. I had a question on the warrants. There's a reference to Arco Business Solutions. I'm doing this from memory. And I believe that the total amount, which was itemized by, there were Amazon purchases, Lowe's purchases, gasoline for PD, et cetera, et cetera. And the total bill was somewhere around 18,000. But the very last entry on that Arco Business Solutions bill related to somewhere around $3,912 late fee. That's really concerning. I don't think I brought a copy of that with me, but it is on the warrants and there is a late fee for Arco Business Solution. So is there anybody here who can explain, what this is and why there's a late fee of almost $4,000?
I can answer that question. That question was posed by Mr. Etlin by
Yeah.
email.
Oh.
So very, very coincidental. But the agenda, I have a written statement from Andrea, who's out on a conference right now. But in her statements, she said that the statements are generated on the 2nd of every month. And we usually receive it anywhere from the 6th through the 9th. It takes several days to reconcile and enter all receipts. The agenda for October 7th meeting was completed on October 3rd. We received the ARCO bill on October 6th, so it was on the 21st October warrant list. The check was issued on October 22nd, and the credit card company posted it on 11/2/25. The payment is due 10/31/25. The credit card company has reversed the late fee.
Great.
And will show as a credit on our next statement. So that's from Andrea directly. Answer to your question, Mr. Dominic.
Thank you.
That's great news. Okay.
It seems like an odd number for a late fee. Usually the late fee is like a set.
It's based on the amount due, I think.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Thank you for that information. And Mr. Atlin, great minds think alike. Apparently it's coincidental. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm a money person. I manage my budget very closely.
Any other public comment? Close public comment? All right, so I want to make a motion.
I don't even know what we're approving anymore.
I'll make a motion to approve the warrants minus Eco Urban.
Second.
We have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
No. And that's not the eco-urban thing.
No, that's not the eco.
Let me just tell you why I do that. There was a time where I wanted to pull some things. There's a lot of things in here that I would obviously approve, right? Power bill, water bill, blah, 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 right? And I asked if we could pull the things that I wanted to vote no on and vote on them separately. And it was denied. So I vote no on the warrants. I've been voting no on the warrants since July 1. So, but I do agree with Councilman Maida that eco-urban should not be paid. So clear up that confusion.
All right, moving on to regular agenda items. Item 1, discussion adoption of resolution establishing new policy for use of city attorney and council member communications with city attorney.
I can introduce it.
Can I just ask a question first, the procedure?
Some too, but go.
So we voted on this at the last meeting and it was defeated. It's still a defeat. A 2-2 is a defeat. What are the rules for bringing it back? I understood that you got to be back by the people that voted no. Now there's some confusion there because sometimes it's when you do it at the meeting and then there's other times when it could be another meeting. I mean, if we had an agenda item that.
Actually, I thought you might bring this up at the approval of the agenda. But that would have been the time, and you had 3 votes to approve the agenda, and Mr. Mitchell was voted to approve the agenda, and I would say that would be similar to a reconsideration. He was in the no, so he voted to reconsider. And in your handbook, you can do a reconsider at the next meeting. It doesn't have to be at the same meeting.
Yeah, but who does? That's just my question. So what's the procedure for doing the reconsider? Anybody can bring it? Or only the no voters?
The motion has to be made by the no voter.
Right, and it wasn't, so it should.
I would say
Shouldn't be back.
your approval of the agenda at this meeting was the reconsideration.
Wow, that's really sneaky.
Gosh, Josh.
Good job.
You want to vote on it right now? You could vote on it right now.
Well done, Josh, you got me there.
So if we approve the agenda, we approved everything on the agenda. We voted yes.
That is your time to vote on the agenda, but you could take a motion to reconsider it right now.
But we pulled consent calendar stuff and voted no on it. We pulled minutes. Whatever.
You could take a vote. You could take a vote right now on whether to remove it from the agenda.
Let me just ask you. So this was my understanding. When you approve the agenda, you're approving to discuss the items on the agenda. It's not a blanket approval of everything on the agenda. We're approving what we're going to discuss.
It's one way.
What? I don't know where you went to law school. It's just not.
As a prior no vote, I will say I would like to keep K in discussion and we should get this to move along.
I'm the second no vote and I say, sorry, Jack, I'm not with you.
It doesn't have to be all, just the person who is in the no has to make the motion.
Okay.
I was a no.
Anyone can second.
Jack made the motion. Do we have a second?
I second.
We have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No. So this was put on the agenda. Now it's been made right. So well done, Jack. So it's been made right now. It's just been made legal or legit. So it was on the agenda illegally, and you wonder why I have so much correspondence with the city attorney. But I didn't. I didn't have any with you on this, did I?
I would say there's nothing illegal about putting this on the agenda. Those are rules of order that you follow. On the agenda, you could still vote on it.
Rules of order.
Okay.
So
thank you.
So now we can talk about it. It's back on.
Yeah,
the
now it's
agenda.
back on the agenda.
So I have some questions because.
Can I introduce the item first?
Yes.
Well, you drafted it, right?
That's respect.
This is the same.
You can continue.
It was this. So similar.
Let the council speak, please.
So were you given
Will
direction
you let the council speak?
Yes.
by?
Will you let the council speak?
Agenda item request from council members. And that, at that point, staff has determined how to implement the agenda item. The council doesn't direct each and every minute of my time. Once you make an agenda item request, it's on staff to help implement that agenda item. And it's largely going to go by George. So once council makes an agenda item, we have to assign staff to prepare it and bring it to the council.
Send me a template to fill out. So I can.
Depends on,
my
it
own.
depends on the agenda item. This was a very clear proposal with a clear action. It's very similar to the same resolution you had last time. There's been a couple changes that the mayor was removed from someone who would direct the city attorney. And instead of city staff, it would be city department directors. So it's very similar to the existing policy in the manual. My services, my time, first and foremost, on a day-to-day basis is going to be directed by George. Major projects, major cases, of course, it's going to be to the council. But once council requests an agenda item, staff has to be assigned, documents have to be prepared. And if council really wants to make a policy where I don't spend any time on agenda documents until the council first gives me that direction, you could make that policy. I would say business would move very slow if that were the policy. Anyway, it's on council members to think about which agenda item they request and whether that's going to require use of city attorney time. In this case, this is brought to the council. So it's not a lot different than the last one, but I did want to clarify that just me spending some time on an agenda item does not require the full council to tell me to do that unless you want to make that a new policy.
Is that what we're talking about right now? Or are we talking about?
No, but you had some questions on the background of the item.
Well, that's not on the agenda, correct?
So at this point, it would be for the council to deliberate.
Deliberate on,
The resolution.
okay. Because the resolution's not talking about staff. It's talking about, so I have some questions because I wasn't here for this. Right now, we currently only give you direction here, correct?
If you're doing agenda items, we might be involved in helping prepare those agenda
I'm
items.
saying the only time that council gives you direction is on the dais.
Well, that's the only time you can meet as a group. Yeah.
So, let me go down this here. So this is saying that on, let's go to, on the resolution, item 2A. If we wanted to talk about, or we wanted to report another council member's conflict of interest, it says we have to go through the city manager, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And what power does the city manager have there? Can he say, no, I'm not going to give it to the city attorney?
Yes.
No, he reports to us.
Yes. So if he doesn't do that, he's still accountable to the council for decisions that the city manager makes.
So if the city manager says, I'm not going to turn that in and I'm not going to bring it to the council to discuss, it dies right there. Because usually when there was a conflict, a council member made a conflict, it would go to the city manager and he would bring it to the council to talk about.
If you're wanting to discuss the conflict of another council member, then you make that request through the normal channels, through the city manager.
Saying the city manager has the power to say, no, I'm not going to do anything about that conflict.
He might not bring it to the agenda, that next agenda. That's true. The mayor and the city manager are the ones that control the agenda.
So here's the problem with that. The DA's office will not take anything from any municipality unless it comes from the city attorney. They don't take, any municipality when you want to, whatever, they say, get your city attorney to bring it to us and we'll look at it. I'm just waiting until they're done speaking. So this in a sense, essentially stops reports of conflicts of interest.
I wouldn't agree with that.
So let's go on to the other one where you say that all council members have to approve it.
If one council member wants to spend time with the city attorney and ask specific questions, the council can authorize that, or you can route, yeah,
Dais.
yes. Or you can route it through George.
Route what?
Your inquiries for the city attorney. You can bring it to the council and ask them for permission, or you send your questions to
Meeting.
George. Yes.
Okay, I just think this needs to be a lot more clear if that's what everybody's going to vote on, because it's not clear on what the authority is, where it's going to take place.
It means your legal inquiries, you don't send to me directly. You send to George so he can control the flow of work that's going to the city attorney.
So am I prohibited from talking to you about your lawsuit against me?
No. But I wouldn't talk to you about it.
But you're named on this. Your name's on the top of the complaint.
Yeah. I think of course there's going to be communications and for ongoing
So
litigation.
when I email you,
This is for count, right? Not as adverse litigants. This would be for council business and how agendas and legal questions for a city are
want
routed.
clarification.
Yes, clearly you don't have to go through George to
Thank you.
make sure your case proceeds.
But considering a lawsuit, isn't that case, this case you're explaining right now, isn't her contact with, regarding that issue from a different attorney?
Yes, I'm not
Well,
I'm not the
that would-
primary attorney on
could
that
excuse
case.
you From that process whatsoever.
You're on the
There's no
email,
reason
John.
for, there's no reason for her to have to contact you regarding that if she's already has an attorney from your firm that she's doing that, correct?
No, there is not.
Then
You don't-
remove your name,
you don't
remove
have-
your email from the chain.
You don't have to include me.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Meta.
You're welcome.
It's coming.
Any other comments or questions from council?
Yeah, I've got a few. I'm going to talk as low as I can so that I'm not accused of shouting. This is a really bad idea. We, at the last meeting, we all agree that we're spending way too much money on attorneys, and it's not a knock on Mr. Verinsky because it's the council's fault that there's all this litigation going on. So he's just doing his job and he gets paid by the hour. But we all agree that we want to spend less on attorneys. And at the last meeting, we all agreed that we would set up a, ad hoc committee or a couple of council members, whatever, to look at ways to reduce the legal fees that the city of Ione is just out of control. It's completely out of control. And we all agreed to that. And here we are doing what we did 2 weeks ago. Now we're doing it correctly, but you can see my point. It was put on the agenda incorrectly. Whether it's illegal or whatever the word is, it's incorrect. So shouldn't have been put back on there. It should have been Jack should have asked for it to be put back on prior to right now here. Anyway, the resolution. It says that the council concerns have arisen along the city council regarding overuse or improper use of attorney time. I disagree with that because we all have the emails. I'm 37 in 11 months, or not. I don't think their emails are contacts. I don't think that's excessive. We are the city council now that makes all the policies is got less contact with the city attorney than Joe Blow, the dog catcher, right? He gets to ask the city attorney any kind of question he wants, but we can't. You're elected officials. We can't. So
it just has to go through George.
Sure. I get that. But they don't. They don't have to go through George. They can go directly to you. And that's my problem.
No, who?
That's city department directors,
Yes, yes.
right? Am I right or wrong?
Yes.
Okay. So I don't like that. There were some people, council members last meeting that said, well, they never go directly to you. They go to George. Well, what does George do after that?
He copies Josh.
He gets a hold of Josh. Okay, I sent 2 emails to George last week and he CC'd you both times. Does that go on my 37 or is that a freebie? So George is not an attorney. So he's going to ask you the question that we asked George, unless he kills it, right? So it doesn't save any money. It just wastes George's time, okay? Asking you about conflicts of interest, which we're allowed to do. We can ask the FPPC that for free. We don't need to ask you that, okay? Sometimes we say someone has one because, you know, we don't think they should be voted on this item here and right now, and that's been asked. But any other conflicts of interest are just can go for the FPPC. Then the problem is, if I ask about this Allison LaFane's conflict of interest, they won't advise me. I can only ask about myself. And if I want to ask about Allison LaFane's conflict of interest, you have to ask them. Okay, that's the just like with the DA, only the city attorney can ask for other council members of the FPPC. So I think that that's superfluous in this. The other thing is, so we're allowed to ask a question if it's a criminal question, but we're not allowed to ask it if it's a civil question. And then they're quoting all these codes in here, you know, pursuant to Title II, 1700, blah, 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 blah. It's like, how am I supposed to know if it's a criminal or a civil question that I'm going to ask the attorney? I'm not an attorney. I don't pretend to be one. So that's, again, it shouldn't be in here in this resolution because, I mean, I don't know, can I ask you and then say, oh, sorry, I thought it was a criminal question. So I just think the whole thing, it's the council's fault that the bills are so high. And that's what needs to change. And I believe that there's people on the council that would be more than willing to make those kind of recommendations. You said yourself at the last meeting that you wouldn't recommend adopting this resolution. You said yourself that your other cities don't have anything like this. I think it's a bad idea. I think you're censuring council. I think the problem is Ms. Councilperson LaFane's 144 emails. Well, in here is the minutes from August, and she got censured, and you pretty much said they stopped then. So we've got right here in this package that most of these 144 emails have already stopped, yet we're going to make this, you know, I think it's a draconian measure. I think that everybody here will know when to use the attorney, when to not use the attorney. I think all of the problems, like my 37 contacts, were mostly like the question I asked tonight. I don't think we're following procedure. I had 24 in the first 3 months, and I've only had 13 in the last 9. They were all about starting the meetings early against our municipal code. And they were about calling special meetings when they weren't really special meetings. And all of that has been resolved now with the change of the Muni code. So I think this is not a problem anymore. And finally, the city attorney works at the direction of the council. That's in his contract. And that hasn't happened. That's one of the recommendations that I will make if I'm selected to be on the committee. If I'm not, I'll still give whoever is my ideas. But it's like, if the city attorney only does what the council tells him to do, we don't have a problem. So it's a two-way street. You know, we're creating a problem, and the attorney should simply say, hey, you guys need to give me direction. I need 3 votes for me to move forward with whatever it is. And that's not happening. One person's calling him and he's moving forward, and then we're getting billed for it. And that's a problem with why the bills are so high. So I think that this motion here is unnecessary, shouldn't be passed. And I hope that Mr. Mitchell holds true and does what he did last week, which was the right thing, and agreed that we can work together to get these bills down. And that's what I'm hoping we'll do. That's it.
Okay, I have some comments to make. At the end of this, I want to get our city manager's opinion.
Well, when council's.
I'm
done with their
speaking.
Let him speak.
I'm speaking, please.
Council comments first.
The attorney fees are obviously very high. But progress is expensive also. And in my mind, a hell of a lot of things weren't done in the last 6, 8 years.
Point of order.
I would like you to you try to get into my skin. It's not going to work today.
Have some
George,
respect for the
can you-
dais. And
Will you
stop
let him
swearing.
speak? Or we're going to take a 5-minute recess until he can behave.
Me, I'm
Continue.
not up here swearing on the dais.
He's got Tourette's. Let him-
That's minor. I'm just going to stop talking every time she speaks, folks, and then I'll begin again. So sorry, it's going to take more of your time. But the facts are that by far the majority of our expenses when it comes to the legal fees that we have been tied to many, many other issues. Have the emails been excessive, particularly by Council Member LaFane? Absolutely. There's no question about that. Excessive in big time ways. But is that the big reason for this? No. The small part of it. And I'll give you just a brief little synopsis of the things that we've done that has cost us so much money. And I think someone has supported that cause by printing something out for us. But number one, how much time do we spend with Mr. Hahn in Castle Oaks when he decided to sell it? He wouldn't negotiate. And I will also I'm just speaking the truth here. I'm not trying to be personal. That part with Mr. Hahn could have been settled 6 months in advance. Before that, if Councilmember LaFane did not interfere in the negotiations behind our backs and try to cut a deal on our own with Mr. Hahn.
Excuse me.
Let him speak.
That's absolutely right, and that's where the censure came from. So that cost us more money. That's absolutely correct.
Glad that's on record.
The golf course sale took a lot of money. We had to get the golf course sold. We also had to get a lease with SGM. How much money have we had to spend to update sewer? How much money have we had to update the tertiary plant? That hasn't been done in God knows how long. And we've had to use the attorney on countless, more than one attorney, countless times regarding the water board, Title 22, and trying to get to where we can keep this golf course open, watered, try to get a sale gun, the whole 9 yards. It's cost a lot of money. The arena lawsuit, that costs money. We didn't cause that arena lawsuit. We know who I'm talking about. And so that costs money also. So the emails are the small part of it. Are the legal fees high? Yes, but you know something? We've accomplished a heck of a lot too. And I have a list here of accomplishments that this council, I'll include all 5 of us, have accomplished or near accomplished in this year. It is substantial. Substantial. I'm not going to read them all because I'm not going to waste a bunch of time, of your time. And so that's where I stand on this. And the whole purpose of this is to save money. So one comment I wrote down here that since we have people here that claim they're real advocates for saving money, then they should be very happy that the purpose for this resolution is to save money. And that's exactly what it is. Last 2 meetings ago is all because Mayor Rhodes is going to run it. Mayor Rhodes this and Mayor Rhodes that, and everything was just ridiculously unfair because even last meeting, he took himself out of the equation completely. Let's go through the city manager. Protocol states that anyway, city manager.
This is not
Let him speak.
This is
Let him speak.
point of order. This is on.
Let him speak.
This is a political speech.
Okay, we're going to take a 5-minute recess until she can behave.
I can behave. Josh, how many emails have you gotten from me this month?
Yeah, I do.
And wait until we're on record.
I would like to know how I got blind CC'd on an email that I wasn't even included on.
Oh, she can't stop.
He needs to see the lawsuit.
That I've heard every time you say. So it's my time. But like. It does.
So what's gonna happen later, Josh? How angry is he gonna get when he sees that lawsuit?
I can't hear you.
How angry is he gonna get when he reads my lawsuit?
They haven't seen it.
I might have to get a civil restraining order.
Somebody. It's, there's not much, people want them, like, then, much of it's sad.
Here's what I would say. It's like that. We should discuss this. Usually write a resolution. Three of us to give you that command. Right?
You have to, have a council has to make a policy. I mean.
That is a policy. Yeah, but we're supposed to prepare our own. That's what we're supposed to do. Well, that's, I mean, that's it. That's the question. How do you want, like, instead of, how do you want staff to put things in changes? Staff, because we're asking. I know, but if I want to.
You look at our agenda, right? You write it as for some people, but the council would consider.
But
it's an ordinance.
But instead of saying. This is the next on the agenda. This is what we do without.
Okay, we're back in session now. If you'll have a seat. Okay, Vice Mayor Maida, would you like to continue where you left off?
Well, I'm closing. I was wrapping up when when this was done. I just want to ask our city manager what kind of comments he may have on this. I'm sure he has some.
I'll comment until everybody else.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
usually the way it goes.
Well,
Okay.
let them speak. Jack?
Clearly, we've got a serious issue with legal fees. The municipal code, I thought it outlined it pretty well, that everyone goes to the city manager and then to the attorney. But that's not being followed.
And I'll leave it at that. That's all I got.
How many emails have you gotten from me in the last month?
Very, very few,
Very
if
few.
any.
In the month before?
As I, since the censure, it's been minimal, very few.
Very, very few. And have you seen me blind copied on emails that I wasn't even on?
I don't recall, I don't know what you're referring.
Well, Mr. Atlin sent an email to Mr. Lee. I wasn't on it. And Mr. Lee responded, put you on it, and blind copied me. And I responded back. I said, why am I included on this email? I didn't even know Dominic emailed. So it seemed a little intentional to add me onto an email. I would like to know what was the time frame for those 143 emails that happened 6 months ago. I've never seen the emails. So I would like to see, since that seems to be the sticking point and we keep using it every month, pointing to me and my emails, when you are saying, since the censure, which was in July, March, you haven't gotten any. So we can move along on that one. What you brought up was that it's quicker to go through you for staff reports and so forth. Otherwise, it would, you said it would be slow.
For items that are appropriate for the city attorney or ordinances, resolutions, new policies.
Solutions different, yeah, but full-blown staff reports are not. So I don't understand why we have to continue to make new policy. That's what I don't get. I've been on council for 3 years, 3.5 years. We've never had to make these types of policies. But I don't understand it. You're saying that I'm not emailing you. I think you're doing a lot of work that you shouldn't be doing when I'd like to see your invoices. Then we can look at the invoices and say, you know, why is Josh over here doing this? We should be making that decision. And then if, you know, you do something outside your contract, like when you drafted the Weber Geo contract, we shouldn't pay for that because we didn't give you direction to draft that contract. But it's, you know, I hear complaints about, well, we don't want to do it this way because it slows things down. But we're putting more restrictions on the council members. On one side, you say, I don't want to follow an RFP. It takes too long. But we're going to create more policy over here. So what is the point in doing this? Why are we making a new policy when it's not the emails? So what exactly is it? Where are your highest expenses?
I didn't bring this item. So many of your questions are for the other council members.
You can't tell me where you're spending the most money.
It would be the major items that come through each month, contracts, agenda items, litigation, agenda preparation, whatever happens that month. It's been different matters each month.
Do you handle all the agenda preparations now?
No, but agendas are legal documents and legal's involved to make sure it's prepared the right way.
So you approve them?
Yeah.
Okay, I just have a couple things real quick. Again, all this is to cut the cost of the attorney's fees. And one thing I wanted to add on this last time, and I want to add on this one, is I want to release all of our emails to the attorneys. Don't redact anything, release them. And then the public can read them and they can see what we're talking about. I have no problem doing that. And if we don't redact anything, it costs nothing. Just make them all emails a public record.
Nightmare.
And let everyone look at them how they wish, and we will know what we know, because we're all about transparency. And I have no problem sharing all my emails with him. And I don't think many other council members should either, but I don't know if that's part of this which I wanted it to be part of the first time and it wasn't in there, but that's something that I'm willing to put on another agenda if we have to, release all the emails. With that said, do you have any comments, city manager? Or thoughts or?
No, I've heard the back and forth and I've heard from all the different positions and so forth, but if I can be very candid, this is about politics. It's about purely politics. Okay. When I think Mr. Atlin's initial suggestion was a good one in terms of trying to work together, but to be realistic, I don't know if this council can work together and come up with a congruent plan that would appease everybody. I don't think that's possible. So I think what's happened is the majority of the council has figured out ways to try to, become more efficient, in terms of what Mr. Mitchell said was pretty accurate in the set, in that this is already code and it's just, if I recall correctly, it's just strengthening the code that's already present and in existence. So again, and my only defense for myself is, hey, I'm on nobody's side. I'm on the side of the city. It is my job to advance the progress of the city while at the same time protecting the city. So again, that's my only one, and my only one job is to protect the city and advance the progress of the city. So as you said, Ms. LaFane, I take direction from the council as a whole, not from any one individual. But at the end of the day, this is about politics. So I will do the best I can under my authority if given it. And again, my number one duty is to the city, not to any one person, is to the city as a whole. Well, that's my comments.
Okay, any other comments, questions before we open up to public?
I just want to say one thing, that in the last month, where we've had no communication with the city attorney at all, $30,000 for the month. So the emails are not the problem. The contact with the attorney is not the problem. I 1000% agree with George that this whole thing is politics, and that should not be what we are changing codes for. We should not be doing it for that reason.
All right, we'll open up to public comment.
Good evening. This is deja vu. The audacity in ignoring the decision made at the previous meeting is simply unbelievable. Because I recall that a motion was made. There was a lot of discussion. Me, others, Zoom, whatever. So I'll refresh your memory. There was a motion made after all this lengthy discussion that I think was made by Mr. Maida and seconded by the mayor. Again, we don't have the video, but it did not pass. And ultimately, it was decided that a committee would be formed. But apparently, a committee wasn't formed. And lo and behold, here we are tonight, 2 weeks later, no committee, but we have a revised resolution on for discussion and vote. So this was a blatant disregard for the council's discussion and decision at last meeting. Let me ask you 4 council members. How many of you were surprised to find this on tonight's agenda? Actually, you weren't here at the last meeting, so doesn't apply to you then. Okay, so the other 3. And I'm presuming that our mayor, like the previous meeting, is going to be telling us another fictional bedtime story tonight about how all of these exorbitant attorney's fees relate to excessive emails. Well, I don't know how many of you city council members believe that after I spent hours and hours putting together all of that data, which was based upon our warrants. Once again, this matter was improperly placed on the agenda for discussion and adoption. And the memo, which is part of the agenda, says that this was done at the request of Mayor Rhodes. As far as I know, Mayor Rhodes is not the entire city council. There are 4 others of you. Why was this not brought to city council for discussion and then direction to put it on the agenda? And perhaps I don't understand the correct procedure, but based upon the last meeting, it was quite surprising to me to find this on tonight's agenda. But here we are again. So I'd like to know from the 4 council members, how do you feel about this? Are you going to speak up? Are you going to stand up? What are you going to do, if anything, about this ongoing tyranny? So I'm going to ask the same question to the city manager and to the city attorney that I asked at the last meeting. If any one of the other council members had come to you and wanted something placed on the agenda for discussion and vote, what would you have told them? In accordance with the governing documents, it doesn't work that way. Okay? It can be added to the agenda and placed for discussion, but not for vote. But in this particular instance, 2 consecutive meetings in a row, what happened is this was done at the mayor's direction without having consulted with any of his other
30
council
seconds.
members. So we've talked about the exorbitant legal fees approaching $500,000. And as I said before, the legal fees have already been expended. So we can't unring the bell, can't put that genie back in the bottle. The money's been spent on your legal fees when there was no authority to do so. So council members, which one of you have the courage to stand up, speak up,
Time's up.
and do something?
Stand up, sit down, be good. I want to thank you, Jody, for reading all that stuff about attorney fees, the lawsuits. It's too bad that we can't get the information on some of those lawsuits, because I know, I'm not going to mention no names because I don't want to get in trouble and I don't want anybody to get in trouble. A lot of those lawsuits, the people don't know, they follow you. It takes forever to find out what they're about, who they were, what were they. A lot of them, all they had to do was, the people, all they wanted to do was a little help. All the city would have said, all right, yep, let's take care of them. Oh, no, they're wrong. We got to fight them. And the one that started this is a guy moved a house. He had all the permits. In the city went after him like the end of the world, and he ended up getting all his money back. He went to court, cost him, I think, I don't know, $125 or something. He got all his money back. The city had to pay it over a stupid thing because somebody didn't like him. And we've had a couple more here recently, and the reason they were settled is because they figured they couldn't win them after we spend a lot of money on attorneys, and we have to bring in special attorneys. I mean, like I said, nobody can name the names because they were all probably secret. And so if you guys vote on this, there's no harm in trying it. If it works, good. If it don't work, just have another meeting and go back to the old way. I mean, everybody acts like this is the roof's falling in, it's still up there, but I say vote for it. If it don't work, well, bring it back. And Stacy, I don't know how you sit up there and take all this bullshit, everybody picking on you and saying Stacy did this, Stacy did that. I went somewhere the other day and I almost fell over. Everybody in the office when I went in. Oh, Andy, we all like Stacy. He's such a nice guy. He's so intelligent. He doesn't say much, but man, he knows everything. And that was only, I had to go to a bunch of businesses to do some business, and they all just loved you, Stacy. It just breaks my heart that a local guy that has done so much work in the city of Ione, that these people come up here and just beat you up. If it was me, I'd be throwing shit at them. I wouldn't take it, but you're different than me. You got a school head, but I can't believe that people beat you up. And Jody, you're probably going to be next sitting there, so get ready. And so I wish you guys would just vote on this, pass it. Like I said, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, get rid of it and have a vote. It's no big thing. Here we are arguing and people are getting up and calling Stacy this and that, you know, so. And Dominic, vote for it. If it don't work, bring it back. It only takes a couple of votes and you guys can throw it out if it don't work. It'd be nice even if we save $20. $20 is $20, so vote yes on this thing. And the city manager, He can handle it, I hope.
Thank you, Andy.
Mr. Lee, I appreciate you saying that you are on the side of the city, because that I think it should be all of what side we are all on. So I will, again, just like last meeting, ask for us to conduct ourselves in a professional and respectful manner. If we're expecting people not to interrupt us, we shouldn't interrupt others while they're speaking. And I am going to read through more policy in the upcoming weeks and months and stuff. But I just urge everyone to follow what policy is. If it is deemed necessary that Mr. Verinsky get involved, I think that should be looked at, much more under a microscope. Is this really necessary that we're incurring these fees? Because, I would love to have that job right now because I'd be making bank. So I don't fault him whatsoever. He's doing what's been asked of him. And I just, when you go to an attorney, just like if you go to a mechanic, you decide, okay, well, am I going to get a new air filter or not today? And should I put this off? It depends on my budget, things of that nature. So really asking yourself, is this necessary? And there are things that it is necessary. If you're feeling, there are conflicts of interest or anything of that nature, or, things aren't being done in the correct manner, then of course, by all means. But, I would like to see our council and our city, work more collaboratively. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dave Johnson, to Dominic's point, you were asked point blank last meeting, Josh, would you recommend this? And you said no. This was the most restrictive thing you had seen. The mayor went directly to you, had you drop a document without checking with the council first. Now we got Jack changing a vote. You're announcing it before he even takes the vote. And now we're talking about voting on something that you've already drawn up a second one. So now the city gets billed 2 times for something that the mayor asked you to draw up without the council's approval at all. To Marcia's point, if Dominic asked you to go draw something up, you tell him to fly a kite. If Jack asked you to do the same thing.
It's not true, Mr. Johnson.
You would do that? Okay, so if Dominic asked you to draw something up, you draw up a contract and have it voted for the next deal.
I'm happy to.
Okay, the mayor asked you to do that. You've done it twice now without council approval. And you said at the last meeting, this was the most restrictive thing you said. Then they took a vote to try to come up with a group from the council to do something that makes more sense. Again, to the point that Marcia is making, this was a problem you had months ago. It's like you're trying to fix something that doesn't exist anymore and putting a Band-Aid on it when you've got other things that you're spending money on. How many closed meetings did you guys have? There was at least 14 that you got billed for from the attorney's office. I just think you've got to follow process. You guys should be voting this, then you give him direction to draw it up, you bring it up to the next meeting. You don't have the mayor get something drawn up, everything's ready, and you vote it in at that meeting. That's not the process that you should be following. You're all equals up there. And if they can't do it, he shouldn't be able to do it, and you should be telling him no when he asks you. No, I can't do it, I have to get council's approval before I draw that. Then we can take it to a vote. But you draw it up and make it a vote the same night. That's just not right, man. I mean, I got no problem with you guys voting it or whatever, but everybody should get a voice in this to say, Josh, yes, we agree. We want you to draw this up. Let's vote that in. I can't believe tonight we're not talking about Jack's fundraiser or Dominic's. That didn't even make the list. I mean, you committed to trying to do some Zoom call with these guys so we could try to get the 5,000 to get it going. Don't hear anything about that. Jack said, look on social media or whatever to find out where you can volunteer to do something. It's not even on our list. And we've got another thing that the mayor only has requested. Council didn't approve this before we even came here. So Jack did a retroactive vote after you announced it so that this could even be talked about tonight. It's just, It just doesn't smell good, man. That's my 2 cents.
And by the way, I did not request to have this put on the agenda. I'm the mayor, so Jack wanted to put it on there, so we agreed to put it on there. It had nothing to do with it being on there other than doing it. I am speaking.
We're in,
I am speaking. Do you want to do another recess?
we're in
Do you
public.
want another? Okay, we're going to take another 5 minutes. Sorry about that.
This isn't a back and forth. Josh, can you talk about public comment?
Points of order are going to go to the chair.
No, that is not true. There's a procedure up here.
Points of order go to the chair.
During the
Points of
recess,
order, go to the attorney.
this says request Rhodes, not Jack. What you're putting out to the public.
Yeah.
Stacy requested that, not Jack.
This-
Here, look that over, Josh.
Wow.
I'm on the microphone first.
There is no parliamentary order on this council at all.
And that's why our attorney bills are so high.
Exactly. I mean, we're not supposed to engage with the public during this. I know. It's ridiculous. And the swearing.
Take us to Christmas, man.
Look, Bob's leaving. Bob's like, I'm done.
Man. Night, brother. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Again.
Damn, okay, we're good. What he did.
Yeah. We're all mad at each other.
I agree. Everybody needs to chat.
Please stop, Vice Mayor. Hear him.
Tell everybody how much, let me ask you for Dominic's, BOC or whatever those reports were from Alpha the past month. Like you knew every time I was running my 2 miles a day.
Your assistance with PRAs. Appreciate it.
Plan for the VOC.
Yeah, we gotta figure it out. What's calling me? Texting me and emailing. Every time I go.
So Josh, you don't, like when someone calls a point of order, you don't go back to parliamentary procedure and you don't say, have to stick to the agenda item or that's not been agendized. You let Mayor Rhodes make the decision.
It's not me letting the mayor, it's the chair of the meeting makes the final decision on it.
That's the meeting. But you don't speak up and say, this is an agenda item.
He can ask me questions. When you do a point of order, you state your reason. The chair makes,
Can't even state the reason,
well, the chair makes a ruling.
but
And
I
then-
don't even
then-
get that far.
It's true.
That's
You
my
need a,
problem.
you need a second to overturn a chair. You need a motion and a second to overturn Stacy's decision.
He overturns it before he hears it. That's what I'm trying to say. When you call a point of order, you get to say what your point of order is. Not you're behaving badly, shut up. That's the process. That's why point of orders exist. Right?
You don't like how your chair runs the meeting. That's.
No, I want to stay focused. You know, public comment is not about policy.
Come on, let's go.
Explain it to your, I don't control the meeting.
Gets mad, then he gets going.
Time.
You shouldn't treat me as the decision maker on,
No, but
you would, I can advise,
that's,
talk to the council.
it's point of order, Mr. Berinsky, and you say, what is your point of order?
Point of order should go to the chair, not to me.
Have you ever done that, Dominic, in all your years on city council?
It goes to the chair and he has to recognize your point of order.
Yes, recognize it.
But if he doesn't recognize it, then what do you do?
If you need a second,
Okay.
and then you do a vote of the council.
Okay.
If you get a second on his ruling,
Okay.
then the council votes.
All right, let's go. See if we can get
Ready on record?
30 more minutes.
Okay, we're back in session. Okay. You have anything, we're still in public comment, so.
I'd like to say how much of this attorney's time went to lawsuits by people on the council that owe money, and how much did she call our attorney and all that? I'd like to know what that is. And we got a lawsuit, another one, McGraw, and there's councilman still named sitting here, still sitting on it, and he gets to go in closed session about it. I think that's totally illegal. So what the heck's going on? He's named right in a lawsuit, along with some other people. Thank you.
Any other public comment? Got someone on Zoom? Okay, go ahead on Zoom. You need to unmute whoever's on Zoom trying to speak.
Oh, sorry about that. It's usually done automatically. So can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. I have a question for Josh, and I'm sorry, I can't remember your last name. But anywho, so when, just as a curiosity thing, when 5-minute break is called because of, unfriendly things amongst the council, but the conversation continues on. What kind of ruling can you have on that? I mean, should they actually excuse themselves and have their beef in a private room or something instead of in front of the public? Because it's not accomplishing anything, but we're supposedly on a break. So I mean, it's just not jiving well with me. So what do you think?
We're not discussing council business.
This is, yeah. The council can call a recess if they'd like to, and the chair's recess motion can be appealed if that's the will of the council.
Well, I don't have a problem with them calling a recess, which I think they should do when they start spiraling out of control. But in that recess, is there any kind of ruling or anything, or any kind of thing they can come up with where they actually truly excuse themselves from the room, duke their little fight out, and then come back and conduct business?
I don't think I'm going to be able to provide the answer you're looking
Okay.
for.
That's fine. I just, it's just something that bothers me. We've had a couple of these tonight, and, we turn the screen sharing off, which is fine. I don't care about that. And you can still hear all this blah, 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 blah. So, the recess isn't accomplishing what it needs to accomplish, is what I'm trying to say. But anyways, thanks for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Any other public comment? No, close public comment? Okay. Any other discussion, comments from council?
No, I think we've discussed plenty
To death.
already.
Can I make some remarks?
Discussions on it.
Go ahead.
Just to Ms. Edick and Mr. Johnson, that our agenda, any council member can request an agenda item. Once they request it, staff is going to help implement that agenda item. So you'll see it's not just Mayor Rhodes on here. Any council member can be on there, and we'll help prepare it if that's something we can do. We'll work with them to make sure, hey, what do you want here? Is this a resolution? Is it a policy? Is it a discussion item only? We will work with them on that. Just like you see on item 2, there was no staff report. It's not a resolution, but we had a back and forth with Mr. Atlan, Ms. LaFane on, is this a closed session item? Is this an open session item? So we do facilitate agenda item requests of any council member. That's the policy. How much if you let me finish. How much work goes into those items, the council can discuss. If they don't want me to prepare any document until it's come to the whole council, then we can do that. We put a discussion item only, and the council advises, and I can give my suggestions here in open session. That's not the normal course of procedure. They get to put on the agenda real action items. Normally, since we're a city, that could often be an ordinance or a resolution. In this case, That was the request, so it was drafted. So once a council member makes a request, it's staff's job to help prepare and implement that item. And any council member can do that.
This ain't public comment. There's no public, no,
I'm happy
public
to-
comment is closed.
I'm happy to speak with you after, but I just want to, there's no allegiance here. I really don't desire to be the center of attention, but we do implement all council member requests, and how that time is used, we can discuss. But if they have a request for a resolution, we prepare that.
Thank you. Any other comments from council? Okay, and again, I was not the one that put this on there. I know it says requested by, but Councilmember Mitchell, if you want to say why you wanted to add it one more time, I think you've already kind of stated why, but.
Well, the piece for me, actually, I did ask for this to be brought back. When we had the meeting prior, I was concerned when the one piece to the resolution, it's all in the Muni code. It's really pretty straightforward. You're really solidifying something that already exists, but we're not following it, or at least several of us aren't. Or several of them aren't. The piece that got me the last time it was brought up was that any city employee could go directly to the attorney, and I saw that being a huge liability. I think it should be city department heads that go through George and then to the attorney. And I think it's the same way it should be done for the city council. And so I made that known and asked for it to be brought back on based on that clarification to see if we can stop and shore up the infighting and this crazy back and forth with our attorney.
Okay, well, with that said, does someone want to make a motion? Like before the motion, like I said, I wish I could attach, or I don't know if someone wants to make a motion that we can release all the emails. I don't know if that can be added.
Well, I'll go ahead and make a motion that we adopt this resolution, new policy for use of city attorney and communications between the city council and the city attorney.
I'd second that.
We have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nope.
No, I think.
We have two noes. Ayes have it. Okay, moving on to item 2, which is our last agenda item, council member discussion regarding wastewater communications as detailed in public record request documents obtained by council member LaFane.
Okay, well, it's interesting that it's this item, considering what we just discussed, since there is no staff report. When I asked for this, I was told to basically complete my own staff report. I have since I received a threatening letter today, that's in relation to this, I will not be commenting on it.
It says Atlin is request also. Do you have any? This was tabled like I think 4 times. So
Yeah, I got some comments to make on it. These weren't the again, notice the difference between these 2 resolutions. First one, staff report, resolution, all these documents drawn up. This one, Councilperson LaFane was told to do the staff report, do everything. All we got was a bunch of letters. That's it, right? So that's should show you there the difference between the 2 resolutions. But I'm just going to make some comments on some of these letters. First of all, I'm going through them in order, so I'll be very, very quick. So you've got here a letter from Dave Anderson to Howard Holt. And the problem here, I'm going to say this very clearly, the problem here in all of these emails is Howard Holt, okay, the regional board engineer. But here's an email from Dave Anderson. He's going on about hole number 13. Why is it the same color as the first incoming pond at the wastewater treatment plant? Do we send do we send water from the wastewater treatment plant to the golf course? No, we do not. Okay, so false statement for Mr. Anderson right there. I'm sorry to put you on the spot. I won't do that again because you may be retaliated against. What's the next one? Same thing. He's going on about hole number 13, flooded a neighbor, blah, blah, blah. And it's the same water that comes out of the wastewater treatment plant, right? This was an old thing that happened when there was rain events, flooding events, 5-inch in one day rain events on hole number 13 at the golf course. Remember, I used to work there, so I was the target when I worked there. Now I'm the target because I work for the state. So just a little bit of background. So he's basically saying, this again is Dave Anderson. He's saying that all the water that went into the house, all the water that went into Perry Park, blah, 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 was coming from the City of Ione wastewater treatment plant, which doesn't ever happen, and it was rainwater. Okay, so that was another false statement made to the regional board. We've also got a public request document from Mr. Scully where he's asked for these West Yost diagrams and everything else. And as I said in August, this is not an accurate report. I'll just leave it at that. Not an accurate report. Maps are wrong. Pond systems are wrong. Flow systems are wrong. And all of this was sent up to the regional board. Gonna be quick. What they're saying here is they dumped hazardous waste on hole number 13 in June of 2025. That's another letter. So in June of 2025, what water was going out on the golf course? And the answer is the sump, right? The city's well that isn't a well. So the sump water was going on the golf course in June of 2025. Dave Anderson here, Timothy Scully here, that can't even spell his name right, which is sad. I assume his name's Timothy and not Timoth. But so he's saying that hazardous waste is being dumped on the golf course in June of 2025, right? So yes, he is saying that. Well, we can talk later, but that's what the letter says, right? In June of 2025, it was the sump water. So if that's hazardous waste, then we should stop using it. Absolutely. Here's another letter from Dave Anderson. What a coincidence that Ione uses 2 million gallons of water a month, which is exactly what Atlan was accused of taking for the golf course without permission. So Anderson, probably Rich Gonzalez, the usual, suspects, accused me of taking $10,000 worth of water and putting it on the golf course, right? It turned out that was the flushing water that gets flushed in the wintertime. But he's saying that Ione uses 2 million gallons of water a month, which is not true because the golf course uses like 31 million gallons a month. So that's wrong. Says here that Mr. Atlan sent an email to Larry McKinney asking if he could buy 1 million gallons of water to augment the irrigation needs of the golf course. That's not what the letter said. What I said at the time, and this was like 2023, I asked what the situation was because the governor had banned irrigation of potable water on sports fields, etc. And I said, should I need some water later on in the year, what is the availability? Like, is it going to be available or not? And I was told, no, that ban that was in before, the drought ban was still in. And so we don't have any water. You can't buy any water from us. That's what it was. It wasn't a request to buy water from the water agency. So that's wrong. Then we'll get to the letter from Mr. Holt. Okay, so Howard Holt is the guy that's been creating a lot of problems with the city of Ione. He's been telling his bosses things that are incorrect. And here's one of them. The acceptance of, this is the last letter in the package. The acceptance of tertiary treated wastewater from the Ione tertiary plant to the neighboring U.S. mine. I didn't write that word in there. It's Howard Holt's word, so don't throw me under the bus. they have requested 350,000 gallons. And it says wastewater could be conveyed through the CDCR pipeline that was secondary effluent to Wooded Bottom. That's what he's saying. And that can't happen. He's also saying that the water, the 350,000 gallons a day could be put into Pond 7. But I don't believe that Pond 7 can even hold, I mean, that's only an acre foot. I think it's 12 acre feet. So it could happen for a couple of days, but it can't happen for the entire winter season. This is Howard Holt, the senior engineer and geologist of the regional board, telling his boss of this great plan that he's got. He's talking to the U.S. Mine. They did their analysis, blah, 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 blah. I feel a bit exposed, yeah, because you really shouldn't be interfering in things between the city of Ione and the regional board and putting a third party in there. But anyway, what he's saying is that the city is going to shut down the tertiary plant. The irrigation season will be over. And he's pressuring one of the attorneys to send a letter that the reservoirs, Henderson and Preston, will overtop, and that's a danger, okay? And he sends this letter on November the 2nd, 2022. So if you go to the ARSA website and you pull the reservoir report, you will find that there was 510 acre feet of capacity in the two reservoirs when he kind of alluded to the fact that they may be overtopping, okay? They only have 600 when it's completely empty. So that was a flat out, you know, mistruth. I'll be nice about it. So yeah, read these letters. You can see what's going on. Howard Holt is inserting himself into the business of the city, and he shouldn't be doing that. The information he gives is incorrect. The information that our own wastewater engineer gives is incorrect. And the information, most of these emails are just accusations, like a lot of things are. They're not based on fact. Nobody ever talks to me about stuff. Nobody ever says, hey, how does this work? Or what did you do at the golf course when I was there? You know, where are you getting your water from, et cetera, et cetera. And I've offered a million times to sit down with someone, not anymore, I don't work there, but like where it goes, how it works, et cetera. So that's my comments on these letters. Don't really have anything other to say than there's a lot of letters in here that is just a handful that have got bad information in them. So that's it.
Any other council questions on this topic before I open up to public comment? All right, we'll open up to public comment. And just so everyone knows, Dave Anderson has passed away about a week ago, I believe it was, Jack. Does that sound right?
2 weeks
2 weeks ago. Oh.
Yeah, Dave Anderson passed away, and does anybody know why he died? Nobody would listen to him. And after what Dominic said, I don't have much respect for somebody that talks about the dead. And Dominic should know why he died. He died because they did a job up there, and they didn't know. Him and his whole crew went up there, and they were fixing a drain pipe, and they all got sick from pollution or something in the water up there. And I don't know how his other crew's doing, but I know Dave Anderson fought it, and they said it was from the pollution. He had inherited it up there by working at Mule Creek. Now, I don't know for sure, but that's what his doctors told him. I'm going to try to go over there after, it settles down, his family. I'm going to try to go over there and find out what the autopsy was, what he died from, really. And I don't want to go bother him now because, it was pretty shocking. Here's a healthy guy. He goes to work at Mule Creek up there, and they say there's no toxic waste up there. There's no nothing. And this poor guy goes up there and he started getting sick, and a couple of his workers really got sick. I don't know how they're doing. Maybe somebody here knows how they're doing, but I know he died the other day. And I kind of said, you know what? That's a shame that a guy dies from pollution, from working up there.
Out of order, Mr. Chairman. This is not what we're talking about on the agenda.
Yeah, it is. You're talking about Dave Anderson.
I'm
who did
not.
This and did that. Well,
Talking about his letters that
hey.
he wrote that were incorrect.
This is
Not talking about why he died or why he didn't die.
Hey, you're using my time. This is public comment. I can say whatever I want. It is related to.
Okay, you can say whatever you want, not off topic. I
Yeah.
got you.
Yeah, I'm talking about, he died from working up there, as far as I know. Like I said, I will make a point to go over there and try to locate some of his family and find out what the autopsy report was. But he told me the last time I seen him, the doctors, he wasn't doing too good when the last time he was here. And it was from working up there, because they were all healthy before. It don't make sense that you go up there and work and then everybody gets sick. So, you know, it's nice to talk about the dead when they're not here to answer. I would never talk about the dead because they can't answer you. So, and let's put this to rest. And poor old Dave, like I said, I'll try to find out, or maybe somebody else can. And we'll see what he died from. But as far as I know, it was from pollution up there. So, you know, everybody says, oh, so just, and I don't know why Dominic's not working at the golf course anymore. I never have heard. Thank you. And say a little prayer for Dave Patterson. He tried to explain to everybody what happened to him and nobody would listen to him. And it you know, kind of hurts me. And then we have people over here that are all sick and thank you.
About hole 13 over there in the golf course. That it's kind of funny that the two drains over there were plumb full of golf balls. And it did flood the house out. They did get sued. I don't know how much they paid or any of that stuff, but it's kind of funny, the guy that run the golf course and wouldn't fix his drains. But anyway, that's another story. And as far as the pollution, that has been going on forever. And that he said he got 2 million gallons for the water board. How come that wasn't from AWA, how come that wasn't brought out? And Title 22, if you read it, he was having them take Pond I and fill it half full of portable water every year so it wouldn't pollute Mule Creek. He was having it polluted. That's written right in Title 22 if you read it. Who paid for that water? I think it was like 600,000 gallons at least to 1 million. Who paid for that? Was that free? A lot of people ought to ask some questions about this stuff. And that went on for years. And I remember the manager of the golf course at that time says, oh, that wasn't true. It's funny, his staff said that. Thank you.
Inaccurate.
Any other?
Yeah, I heard an interesting date, June of this year. Is that correct? Is that what you're telling me, that there was water, that I said there was water on your golf course this June?
Are you Timothy Scully? I thought you were
his father.
I thought you were Jim Scully.
He was standing right next to me while we were photographing all of this stuff that wasn't in 25. It was in 22 or 23 as it came off hole 13.
Okay.
And he's absolutely right. It was the same color as the color that ends up in Pond 1 at your wastewater. I notice you keep saying you've got letters. Why do you not have all the pictures that go with these letters? And I'm refuting right off the bat your first assertion about us talking. I haven't even been over there. You know, I mean, we haven't taken any pictures. Why in June would it be an issue? It's high water in the winter time. And it's like, okay, you insist the diagrams are wrong. And you just said you were an expert at this place. Then I'm telling you, this city needs you to provide a true and accurate diagram of what is going on out there. Because right now, you know, I didn't know about West Yost. It looked okay to me. And now you're telling me, oh, it's all, you know, it's all garbage. Well, let's get what's really going on out there. You know, maybe talk to the people that had the water in their house. And again, please look at the pictures of the color of that water coming off hole 13 and going down towards Perry Earl Park, which apparently they're all within 1/3 of a mile of these juvenile cancer cases. Now, I don't know. I'm just saying that's the way it is. Again, look at the pictures and get the proper information. Now, can I answer any questions? Because definitely got me going. I want to know what exactly is going on out there. If you're the expert and you've worked out there for years, you think you can do that?
I told you in August that the report was wrong and you laughed at me.
What report?
I told you in August that the West Yost report was wrong, full of errors, and you laughed.
I wasn't
And
here
now you
to
want
laugh at
Now you want my help. I don't think so.
You don't need to argue.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
you shouldn't have
Don't
laughed at
argue
me
with a
in
fool
August.
or a drunk.
You should have listened.
Thank you, Jim.
I just think it's really appalling to me that this issue of the water is as old as me. I'm not very old, but it's as old as me. And we put a lot of effort into pulling our warrants and debating how much we pay our city attorney, but we don't focus on the public safety issue here. We keep bringing it up, and Jim brings it up, and all these kids have cancer. And I just think it's time the city grows a pair and takes care of the freaking problem, because it will get worse. So care about your constituents and this community and find a solution and fight the state. Fight Mill Creek. Let's look into it. Let's care. Why do all these kids have cancer? It's not just a coincidence. Grow a freaking hair.
Thank you.
I'm going to echo what Mia said. She wrote an article in the Ledger back in May of this year, coincidence or cause for concern, with Jesse and Brooks. And yes, 5 cancer cases in Ione in the last 2 years, not forever, 2 years. 20 times the national cancer rate for children. And that pulled in an article that was written 2 weeks prior to that article in the Appeal about Mule Creek water, drinking water, making the prisoners sick. And you might not care when it's a prisoner, but I really do hope you care when it's children, innocent children, okay? They're not asking for this. I went to the water agency and I brought up this concern. They wanted to, brush it off. That's just in the runoff. No, that article, it's in the drinking water. The staff knows not to drink the water there, but the prisoners have no other choice. Our children, it may be filtered and all that stuff, but how much does that really do? I want these issues looked into, the environmental impacts, whether it's water, whether it's mining, whether it's nothing. If we find, it's all fine and it's just PFAS from, water bottles, fine. I just want an answer so these children, these families don't have to suffer the way they have been. And that an organization such as ours doesn't have to exist because it's already solved. So please use your time, use your platform, use your influence to get to the bottom of this, because that's what I think our city really should be focusing on. And not even just juvenile cancer. I'm assuming that it also impacts adult cases of cancer. And I think we need answers. Thank you.
Thank you, Patricia. And so you all know, some of you haven't lived here that long, you can go to the Ledger Dispatch and search all the articles that I've written on this and Jack has written on this. We've been after this for 20 years. I've known it since they built the place, and I've been fighting and fighting and fighting on it. So I would suggest all of you can do some, and Jack you can reach out to the newspaper. There's a lot of really good articles in there. So, and there are a lot in the background working on this, just so you all know. Go ahead, Justin.
Okay. So I've been kind of going back and forth with both the regional board permitting and also West Coast, because they are still involved with our permitting and everything. I think council in the next month, or as soon as possible, obviously this is a dire situation, make a decision if we're going to use Mill Creek water or not. This was a very stressful irrigation season, as you all know. It was really hard not knowing whether or not we were taking certain water. So if we can decide right now and make preparations, because right now Mule Creek is named on our Title 22. We need to start working on that now and get them off if we're not going to use their water next year, and we can use our own water, Pond 5, because now we have both the well and Pond 5 water, which has saved us through this irrigation season. So it would benefit the city. It would pull us out of a cease and desist because we are not permitted to take the amount of water we take at the pond plant. So if you guys are going to do this, we should act on it now so we can start making preparations before the next irrigation season.
Thank you, Justin.
Thank you, Justin. Appreciate that. Any other public comment on this topic? So, got Larry coming up. I'm starting the clock, Larry.
I have been listening to this story about the water for the last 6 years. Same guys keep saying that it doesn't exist, and the same people that say it does exist. I'll share with you an event that happened in my life. I lived in a city about 40 years ago that had a similar problem where the water got contaminated. It was from the semiconductor industry, same VOCs, and a little bit of worse stuff. The water finally leached down into the groundwater, got into the well water. The incidence of child cancer was exponential. The incidence of adult cancer was exponential, and the incidence of birth defects was incidental. They covered it up for 10 years. They finally caught the people covering it up. Some of them were political officials. They're now still in jail. Those facilities, there were 3 of them, employed 4,500 people, and they sat empty for 15 years. And they finally were able to reuse those facilities. They had to take the dirt out of the ground 40 feet in order to build on top of that stuff. And the death rate from that was exponential. So I know, keep covering this shit up. Sooner or later, it's going to come to roost.
Thank Larry.
Thank you, Mr. Larry.
Any other public comment? We have anyone on Zoom? Nope. Okay, we'll close public comment. This was a discussion item, so.
I'd like to discuss it just briefly. We've asked multiple times to put a committee together to get to the bottom of this. I remember it coming up every year. Let's stop kicking the can down the road. We can't do it right now because this topic really wasn't about testing the water and so forth. I agree with you on the water. I experienced it. I got non-Hodgkin's lymphoma from a sod farm. And everybody around me, especially the kids, got sick. So I was personally impacted by it. I went through 16 years of treatment. I don't think this council has been ignoring it, but they're not taking any action. I don't know how we go about it. Certainly not in this manner, but you've been here at least 3 times now. So it's off the agenda. I'm not, because this was just a discussion item. But we need to do something about it. Test the wells, get an independent out there, test the wells, test everywhere, wherever those kids are living, do it around there. Test the ground, not just the water. But yeah, I mean, I watched stillborn foals, dead calves, puppies deformed. So it is environmental. And you can't, in this world, you can't say it doesn't exist. So what can we do, Josh?
I've been fighting this for 6 years. I'm finally glad someone's on my side besides Jack. And just so you all know, there's been private investigators roaming around the town for over a year looking
Well,
into
It
this.
shouldn't
So
be private. It should be public, and we should just get to the
you don't
bottom.
catch people that way. Ask Erin Brockovich, who I've had
Does there-
discussions with her about it too. Any other discussion on this topic?
No comment.
Okay.
No comment.
All right. So with that said, I guess we'll move on to reports and communications from city attorney. You did an awful lot of speaking tonight. You have anything else you want to say?
Tonight.
Okay. City manager, Mr. Lee, got anything?
Yes, the activity at Picnic Hill continues to proceed despite the inclement weather. There's a lot of things happening over there with the amphitheater. I mean, I noticed that Mr. Borge is here in the audience. Mr. Borge, would you like to come up and tell us all exciting things going on? You know, I see it every day. I go there 2 or 3 times a day, but I'd like to give Mr. Borge the opportunity to tell us all the exciting things that are happening.
We're trying to go ahead and stop the rain dance at the present time. Really where we're at is we have all the concrete completed. We have the amphitheater structure actually starting to go up. Going to be proceeding with welding beginning towards the end of this week. We're trying to achieve a pave date sometime later this month. It seems like that will probably float into the first week of December, at which time we'll go ahead and pave out the front parking lot as well as all of the maintenance roads going throughout the park. And then we would be left with just some hardscape and landscape. And we should be able to go ahead and get that completed through the rest of that month. So we're a little bit ahead of schedule. Hope all of you could go out there and visit and check it out. I think it'll be a great amenity for the whole community to enjoy. That was our goal.
Thank you so much, Mr. Borge.
Thank you, Thomas.
Through this process, we've learned a lot about Howard Park. As you all know, you approved Chad Simmons' contract last council meeting. And through that process, he has started construction. But through that process, we have found a lot of issues with respect to the irrigation that's already present and with no as-built. So Zach is here to explain what the issue is at hand. That way you folks are apprised of everything at the same time we are. Let's put up here.
Good evening.
No, Sam gets the wall.
Yeah, gotta cover up.
It's okay?
So it'll be easier if I stand over here with Justin. So everybody can see this is the soccer fields. This red line here is what we've identified as the main line that feeds the entire soccer system. It comes across and feeds baseball as well. The cut, as we exposed all this to figure it all out and kind of just figuring everything out as we get going, the as-builts that I have are not correct. The fire hydrants that service the arena, the barn, and Evelyn Bishop Hall and Hunter Lane are tied in and fed by the soccer system in a 4-inch line. That is completely incorrect. You have water running through a soccer system to feed fire hydrants. If something happens here, you don't have water here. I've come up with a plan with a contractor, and obviously it's going to have to go to bid. This blue line here would be the new line that we would put in to feed the hydrant system. It will no longer be tied into the irrigation system. They'll be
Completely separate.
yeah, completely separate, and there won't be any conflicts there. We won't have to worry about if I shut down the soccer system to fix something, we don't have water. So I need direction from George to go about what we need to do here.
And your plan is to tie the irrigation system, cut off the fire hydrant and create the irrigation own separate system.
Yes, sir. Yep. So the tie-in point for the irrigation system is down here, even for our new drawings, down by Wildflower area. That's where our meter box is. The tie-in point for the new irrigation system is down here. Everything will be taken care of. Baseball will continue to get fed through the pipe that's existing. We will cut and cap here. So we no longer are tied into the irrigation system for the soccer. We have our own pipe to feed the hydrants.
This plan was supported by Ken Mackey.
Yes. Ken Mackey was thoroughly surprised and had no idea that this is how we were connected. Zero clue. He's extremely upset. So as we continue with the soccer system being put in, I have to keep this on. So that's going to make the job of the irrigation company that we hired extremely difficult. Because I have to keep it on to keep all the water flowing still. Him trenching, running new trenches all through here, we've already had to cap about 4 different lines to keep everything on.
Because the fire hydrants have to stay on.
The fire hydrants have to stay on, especially the Hunter Lane one. That is a very high priority. You're good.
Yeah. So as a result of that, we do have to get a bids for a new line that connects the connection point and takes the fire system out of the fire hydrant.
Tomorrow, give me a call and we'll talk about what size pipe and I'll see if I can get it temporarily at least donated and we can put some HDP from point A to point B so you can hook it up and then you can work on the soccer by yourself.
Yes, sir.
Can I ask you a question? So, okay. So why didn't the fire hydrants come from the street like every other fire hydrant in the city of Ione? We don't know. The other thing is, so Ken Mackey wanted the 4-inch valve of raw water, which I was complaining about because that's a $2,500 a month rental charge, or whatever they call it. So I don't know if you can go down from that 4-inch, maybe to a 2-inch. It saves a lot of money. Now the Ken Mackey would never let you do it while it was powering his fire hydrants because he needed the flow. So maybe once that's all done, and Simmons obviously knows what he's doing, but you can do some calculations and maybe we can get that valve, the meter downsized to a size that will supply the baseball and soccer fields, but doesn't need now to supply flow to the fire hydrants, because in 5 years' time, that's going to be like $3,500 a month just for the meter on the irrigation. So
how our tie-in point would be is we would tie in on the other side of the meter just like we are now. And there would be no change. We're not adding a meter. We're not doing anything. We're on this side of our meter already. And there's no tie-in, no nothing.
yeah, I'm just saying.
It'd be exactly the same way it is now, except it's just a separate line. We're not running through the soccer system anymore.
Right. So you're still gonna have a raw water line for the fire hydrants, is that correct?
Absolutely, yep.
Okay, why don't you go potable from the other side?
So you have to come from the highway, obviously, and
Right.
feed in.
Right.
From what I understand is the Uniman line, the 12-inch Uniman line that used to run through there got cut and capped because it was leaking.
Right.
That's how those hydrants were fed before. This was like, oh, we need to feed the hydrants again. Where are we getting water? One of those, we are paying for mistakes that we did before. So.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jack.
I wasn't on the council when that happened though, right?
The whole goal is, no matter what happened in the past, the whole goal is to rectify what's there now and to have proper and accurate
Yes.
as-bills. The second item is that the bid for the RFP for the Castle Oaks entrance maintenance did end, and we only received one bid, and that was from Chad Simmons. So I will be bringing back that to the council on the next agenda.
Okay.
Approval. And then, per the council's direction, I did meet with the county CAO with respect to asking them for some additional funds to help us with the irrigation at the soccer fields. That is going to be on the agenda on December 16th. At the same time, we also talked about many other issues, primarily having to do with potential county participation in the future regarding Howard Park, with respect to rebates of potential impact fees that are going to be potentially coming from the new 1,100 homes. So again, as we move forward, again, we are utilizing all of our resources to try to come up with ways to try to fund and improve Howard Park, again, primarily because that is a regional park. And I think I'm hopeful that the supervisors will cooperate and see that, Ione has been supporting the Howard Park for the past, 20, 30, 40, however long. And I think with everything going on with the elimination of our ACRA, I think that I'm hopeful that they agree. And that's it.
Thank you. All right, moving on to council comments, committee reports, and future agenda items. Councilmember Atlan, do you have anything?
Yes, want to know what the status now of that committee that was going to be set up to look at lowering the legal bills. Is that still, I mean, we voted on it, so it's supposed to happen. So hopefully that'll happen here, before the end of the year. And also the $5,000 for the food bank. So I was disappointed, and I told George that it wasn't on this agenda. So George had a plan. I don't know if his plan can work, but
I'll have.
I think people need to know that we are going to get that money to the food bank one way or another. We have to do it the right way. So perhaps Mr. Verinsky can help us to do that. And we have to do it right now. It's Thanksgiving next week and Christmas a couple of weeks after. So we need to get that money out. And then last item, I'd like an update on the roads in Wildflower. Been getting a lot of complaints. I don't think we fixed all the roads that were going to be fixed this year. So now we're into the winter again. Looks like it's going to be getting into the wet patterns, and you're not going to be able to do a whole lot. So just like to get an update. I thought the contractor was going to fix those roads. It's been going on for 2 or 3 years, and the roads are bad. And I don't need an answer now, but just maybe at the next meeting we could get an update on those. So, but that's it for me. Thanks.
Councilmember LaFane?
Yeah, I had quite a few Wildflower residents. I do know the issue as to why those streets aren't going to be fixed this year. So the homeowners, I basically said it's not going to get done. We're already into the rainy season. They can't open those streets up now. So hopefully we can make it a priority in the spring. It's not, I don't know if anybody here lives on those streets, but have you been on them?
I deliver papers every week on them. It's kind of fun. It's roller coaster.
It's bad. And I don't know if some of them are sinking. They're still sinking. Yeah. So, and then I also noticed we had some RFPs on the city website, but there's no actual RFP. Is that the process? Usually when you put an RFP out, there's a PDF that you have the scope of work for them to submit the proposal. But there's one for a wastewater mechanic, which I thought was under Waterstone. So I was curious about that. The other thing I know that ex-council member Ratton brought a grant to the city's attention, and I'm sorry, am I wasting your time there, Mr. Lee? I'll stop speaking.
I think Ms. Mackey addressed that last council meeting in terms of the grant.
Oh, I didn't see it on the agenda, but I probably didn't look.
Is that it? All right. Councilmember Mitchell, what do you got?
We've got Ione Givings Day on Saturday. I put flyers out over here, taking Dominic's lead on funding and having I think at the end of last meeting, I asked if you guys wanted to do a food drive, and couldn't believe that 90% of you, or almost 100%, raised your hands. So, the Ione Fire Department has a turkey and food drive going on in conjunction with the Ione Elementary PFC on Saturday, November 22nd at Evelyn Bishop Hall from 11 to 2. Ours is going to be their second location. So Ione Fire has 2 locations. We're going to be down at Ione Plaza Market with the Ione Rotary Club. And we are going to be collecting turkey, food, and funds, meaning money. The money, we actually have set up an account through Doug at the Ione Market that actually will stay here locally in the market, that anyone that doesn't have the food they need or is in need of food, they can go in and go through the market, shop for their items. If there's any funds left after the holidays, those will go up to the Interfaith Food Bank at that time. Yeah, it was hard to say. There's flyers over here on the counter. If you can't make it, I understand every donation's really, I'm grateful for that, whether it be a can, a penny, whatever you can do. If you can't make a donation, if you can help me spread the word, it's up on my Ione City Council page. Just share, and see if we can get some people down there. I know you guys are all very busy, and I appreciate your time. I think it's gonna be fun. I'll be down there the whole day from 10 to 3. So come on down Saturday and certainly visit the chief out at Evelyn Bishop Hall. They have a great plan with the PFC group from the elementary school. Also, just want to reiterate, there's a very important blood drive on December 8th from 12 to 5. I don't know how many of you realize it or not. Ione is one of the largest blood donation spots, and they've been very concerned since Christie stepped down a few months ago about how their attendance is going to be. Are they going to be able to pull this off? It's very important to a lot of people. So if you can donate blood, sign up December 8th. Love to see you there as well. Thanks.
Councilmember Maida, Vice Mayor.
Yes, the moment ago, I said, no comment regarding, when we're discussing the, wastewater communications. That's because I did have a comment at this point regarding some things regarding this. I don't want any more CDCR water. I'm glad you brought that up, Justin. I don't want to take any more. That's my because I've come to full circle here. I believe I don't trust the water. I'm on the side of caution because I believe it is toxic. That's my personal opinion. And so any of those of you, I'm in your camp. So on that, Logan, I just gotta mention Logan right now. Logan Wilkerson, I follow him quite heavily on Facebook, as some of you do too. And he looked pretty cool in his Los Angeles Dodger garb this morning. So send him some love, please. I want to thank Selena for our mystery thing that we had on Friday. She worked diligently on it. I'm going to be honest and say I'm not too pleased with the way Castle Oaks took care of us out there. I'm very frank about it. I mean, the service we received was poor at best when it came to providing tables and chairs, and also the audio system. So, but it was a big success. We had a lot of people there, and it was still fun. And one last thing, I'd like to ask George if he would direct staff to turn off the water valves along Highway 104. We're in the wintertime now. We had a $1,200 and something bill again this month that just serves 104. I believe Simmons is going to go through that at some point. So we got a little time to turn that water, maybe save ourselves $5,000 or $6,000 until it gets repaired. So that's it. And thank you for staying so late tonight, everybody. Appreciate it.
All right, I just have one thing real quick. The Creek Committee, there's actually one of them in the audience, Ms. Dutchke, doing an awesome job this year. We got back in the creek, trying to catch up to where we were. We did a lot of work of cleaning up on both ends. Cleaned up the bottom, pushed up to the levees in a lot of areas, and I think it's excellent job. So thank you, Ms. Dutchke, and the rest of the Creek Committee. With that said, would anyone like to make a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
A second.
First and second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Good night.
I want to thank Jesse stepping up to the plate too.
Yes. Wonderful meeting operator work.
After like food.
I give you mine, man.